Alright everyone, welcome back to One Perfect Scene, where we analyze the best scenes in television and why everyone loves them so much. Today we are tackling a much more difficult one than last time, and that is the view from halfway down from Bojack Horseman's final season. Now, this whole episode is kind of a huge trip that is incredible and requires multiple watches to fully grasp. But I am going to be doing the about last 4 minutes up until Bojack is invited to perform on the stage. This show is my favorite show of all time, so maybe I am a little biased, but I do want to analyze just exactly what it is about this scene that is so good and makes me love it so much, because I'm obsessed with it. So, without further ado...
The star of Horsing Around and the Bojack Horseman Show, Filbert Secretariat.
It's interesting that the only thing that's listed here is, this is Bojack's own brain, so all of these things are insults, basically, to himself. He's proving to himself how little he's done in his life.
Piece of shit.
And that's the kicker. Ugh, the kind of solemn way he just walks over to the void like it's nothing.
It's the way it is, you know. Everything must come to an end. The drip finally stops.
Herb making this almost okay, and talking about the drip from earlier in the episode. And then...
There is no other side. This is it.
My god, that hurts so bad. It is one of the darkest things. It's so scary. It livens the tension so much more. And watching it happen as Herb disappears is heartbreaking. Oh god. Ugh, and I hate the animation for the goo. The void goo, whatever it is. Voices gibbering. It's so... They never do shots like this. It's so crazy. They have a tracking running shot. It looks so great. Ugh, it's so trippy. All the flowers from earlier. It's everything that we saw in this episode. I don't know what this bird symbolizes. But it is terrifying to watch. But all the paintings you can see are paintings we've seen before. Ugh! That is horrific!
Diane, are you there? Diane, I need you.
And then the panic.
Diane,
The
God.
last hope,
Diane,
we hope.
Diane, you're gonna save me, right? I called you and you're coming to get me?
Bojack, why did you call me? I live in Chicago. I can't save you.
You didn't pick up.
Right.
It went to voicemail.
Yeah.
And then I went back in the pool.
Ugh, the music, Will Arnett's voice acting, the slow goo dripping in and taking over the entire house. Unbelievable. So sad.
I can do, Bojack.
This shot is
I'm
amazing.
not real. None of this is.
So what do I do now?
It's not real. That's the most horrifying thing of all.
Well, if it doesn't matter, can I stay on the phone with you at least?
Okay.
How was your day?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah. My day was good.
Ooh, okay, I had to stop talking because so much happens really quickly. We might even need to go through this scene again. I love that Diane is shown as Bojack's kind of tether throughout the entire series, so it makes sense that he would think to call her first. It's also more heartbreaking when you already know that she moved to Chicago, and even at this point, she's not even in Chicago anymore. It's heartbreaking, first of all, to know that none of this is real, and that he has no control over what happens. It's different from when we see a character in a dream, because in a dream, we know that, as terrible as it gets, they're always going to wake up at the end. This plays on the expectation that we have no idea whether he's gonna wake up. And they like to tease that in front of you by not saying he's definitively dead yet. They don't exactly say that, they say that someone might come and save him. So this whole 26 episodes is a tense, full 30 minutes of complete worry. Many people predicted that he was going to die, and the creators and writers definitely knew that and wanted to play upon it in this episode. It's also great that they use that little heartbeat at the end to show the flat line. First of all, how it's mixed in with the music is so great. I love how it kind of jitters in and then flat out over the credits and then picks back up slowly. They're excellent at doing little subtle hints instead of these big dramatic reveals. They do tease with you in the next episode, but if you watch through the credits for 5 seconds, I think Netflix will cut you off pretty much right after it starts, but you can hear it. So it is something. And I love how smart that's done and how subtle that kind of tell is. Now let's watch the scene again because I definitely missed some stuff.
You ready for the headliner?
No.
Please welcome to the stage.
Well, first of all, it's interesting that this whole thing is framed around a performance. Because, you know, that's kind of what Bojack feels his entire life has been, from him singing the lollipop song to his mom and her friends at their dinner parties, or to him doing stand-up and trying to find his way in Hollywood. I love how I'm just conditioned to say it, but it's not Hollywood anymore. It's Hollywood now, okay? So I gotta get my facts straight. But it's so interesting. I didn't know where we were in this episode until Herb told us, essentially, that this is all in his head. As just a theory about what might happen when you do start to, you know, drift off toward the light. It is really grim. I mean, maybe not everyone's would be as dark as this one, but Jesus Christ, I really hope this doesn't actually happen to me.
Of Horsing Around and the Bojack Horseman Show, Filbert.
It's interesting that they start with his professional accomplishments, because that's what he defines himself with first. It's the only success he can lean on.
A talented charmer and a stupid piece of shit.
I love that there's one compliment in there. He gave himself that he was a talented charmer. Thank you, Brain. I love when it cuts to the inside of the void, there's a little hum that you can hear, a kind of like white noise, or more like brown noise. It's very uncomfortable.
It's the way it is, you know. Everything must come to an end. The drip finally stops.
I like them characterizing the drip that has been going on this whole episode as kind of like the call, as, you know, Bojack has been kind of flirting with this void for decades. The drip has, you know, continues for his entire life until it actually consumes him, which is incredibly dark thought, and I hate to be so, like, drama about it, but it is, you know, an interesting way to perceive it. Him being alive is like feeling a drip on his head all the time. It's just constantly annoying. It's constantly something he can't fix wherever he moves, whatever bucket he puts above his head. Nothing does anything to fix it. The only thing that will end it is this, which is, ugh. I also like how Herb gets dissolved there. It's such an interesting way with his, like, hand and face, like, getting dissolved last. I don't know what about it is, but it's just, like, the way the goo just, like, takes his body is so creepy. Excellently animated.
I'm looking for a phone.
The creepiest animation ever, with them, like, those layers. Like, what even is that? By the way, I neglected to mention that I love how his childhood home just morphs into the horsing around set. The two most important parts of his life, but also it's kind of like he was raised again on horsing around, you know? It's like he became a different person in the process of that show. It was him growing up again into a worse person, yes, but a different one nonetheless.
Diane, thank God, Diane. Okay, Diane, you're gonna save me, right? I called you and you're coming to get me?
The desperation in Will Arnett's voice really sells this moment as well. It really builds the tension super well. Someone pointed out to me that the telephone cord also wraps around his neck when he's near the end, standing on the bridge, and I thought that was an interesting detail. Not only is that a beautiful shot, but it's also an interesting piece of symbolism, and I love the fact that he can see himself in the pool. It's such an interesting depiction of it. God. I did win this whole episode back on TV Wins if you want to check out that video in the description below. But that is it for this. If you want to check out more, you can go to patreon.com/positivity. That's POSITVTY for more content, and you get content before it comes to YouTube. So go there and support us. It's a really great way to help out the channel, and I will see you guys for the next one. Tell me what scene you'd like me to do next, but be careful for spoilers. All right, bye-bye.